Hi guys, this is Tony here from Metal Roos. You're about to sit down and enjoy an interview I just did um, over there, and so do like and subscribe so you can get all this straight into your streaming and into your consciousness as soon as it arrives. So enjoy the interview, and I will. Over to you, Tony. Thanks for coming and chatting with us. All the way over there in America, coming over here to Australia very soon, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
September.
sir.
September.
I know. Fuck, it's like, I mean, this year I feel like I don't even remember New Year's Eve.
No.
I feel like it's moving a little quicker than I anticipated. I mean, we
Yeah.
always say that, right? But for real this time.
Yeah. Particularly when you live your life by a diary, like I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here. It just flows
Yeah, yeah,
without thinking, right? So
yeah.
it's but it's your first tour since 2016, I believe. Is that right?
Fuck, man. Yeah. I mean, I think we were in Australia just before we announced our hiatus in 2017, I think. Maybe
Mm,
I might be wrong though. Maybe it
mm.
was like January 2017 or something. But yeah, I mean, it's fuck, man. Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the things, I mean, you've been going around a long time now, so you've got a good catalog behind you for the
Mhm.
tour, which is going to be amazing. And you're doing like what's it, one, two, three, four, 5 dates here in Australia,
Mm.
spanning the country, which is amazing. Brisbane all the way through to Perth. That's a,
Yep.
that's a that's a good that's a good tour in this big country of ours. That's a decent size
It is, huh? Yeah,
in
it's a
that in
lot.
those days. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, fuck. I mean, it is like, I mean, because there's just like that massive middle bit where you just got to cross this giant desert, right? To
That's
get
it.
to
That's
get
it.
over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It takes longer to get from where I am to Perth than it does for me to Bali. It's ridiculous. Like,
Damn, that's
yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy, right? It's
Yeah.
crazy, but it's just the world we live in, right? America's a big country. You know that
Yeah,
same sort
it
of kind
certainly
of
is.
concept. But um, you're obviously bringing the band here with you, the energy here with you. It's going to be amazing for the audience to see your energy again, man, because your live performances are infamous for
Oh,
the
thank
energy
you.
that you bring to the stage. So it's going to be pretty spectacular seeing you guys here after all
Yeah,
those
I
years.
think it'll be cool, man. Yeah, after all those years, that's the thing is we've been talking. We've had a couple conversations today with other Aussie outlets, and it's like there's just something about Australia from the beginning for us that was like kind of surreal, almost like fantastical, magical. Like I don't know, I guess we just never really imagined getting to play music in Australia. So I think when we did get over there for the first time and each time afterwards, we were like, we got to make this worthwhile. We got to fucking serve this in a way that like, what if we never come back or we never thought we'd be here? So I'm sure it's going to be the same. It'll bring those feelings back up and then
Brilliant,
most likely prompt us to perform in that way again. Yeah.
brilliant, because that's where the energy is, man. That's the energy.
Mm.
It's the energy is there, and Australian audiences they have a high energy to them anyway. If you've ever
Yeah.
you've played in Europe a lot, right? I mean, you've got some big tours coming up. You're doing Vans, aren't you? 2000 Trees. You've got
Yep.
some big festivals coming up, and European audiences have that kind of energy. But Australia has this kind of crazy because we don't see you very often.
Right.
Bands of your ilk very often here. More so
Right.
now, but in the past there was a long gap,
Right. Right.
so the audiences just crave it, and when it
That's
comes,
awesome.
they just chuck it at you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll take it. I like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it must be. I mean, I mean, obviously, you've got your seminal album, Fake History,
Yeah.
to fall back on, which is an amazing piece of music. But you've
Yeah.
got such a big catalog, so bringing that here for the audiences is going to be fun for you because you probably haven't played a lot of that.
That's right. Yeah. It's going to be cool to be able to kind of collect songs across across all everything we've done and get to pick and choose and sort of really being in a position where we just want to like I think I don't think I know there were times where we were serving ourselves on stage with certain songs or like we want to play this but like honestly we're coming back and doing this tour just knowing that we want to have a reciprocal exchange of energy. So it's like we're very, very thoughtful in what we consider playing so that people love it, we love it, so that everything and everyone is having, the best time versus like, there's those like deeper cuts that you might want to play for like 20% or 30% of the crowd or for just for the band, even though people don't even, whatever. But we just really want to play songs that we know resonate with both the band and and our friends in attendance. So it's going to be cool, man.
Yeah, and I think that's the case, isn't it? Because we don't see you often, and so whatever you bring to us, it will be just people will just love it. I don't.
That's
There'll be
all.
always be 1 or 2% that go, "Oh, they didn't play this," but
Right, right, right.
but you can't please everyone, right? And at the end
Nah,
of the day,
nah.
the rest of your set will still please them.
Right, right,
You
right.
know what I mean? Like you have an interesting sound. I mean, for people that don't know you, it's an interesting combination of options that you bring together, like punk and R&B. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a sort of thing that you think would come together at all. It's like almost completely polar opposites to
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other. But when you bring it together, it makes this sort of really infectious sound that
Thanks,
I,
man.
I can't understand how other bands haven't sort of tried dabbled with it because it's really really
Yeah, man.
interesting. I don't know how you came
Yeah.
across that one, but
Yeah, it was just like, I mean, I personally, so I started the band when I was like 16, 17. I was a
mm,
kid and my effort was, I grew up listening to soul and funk and R&B and hip hop first. That was actually my first love.
mm,
And then I got a skateboard and I got skate videos and started hearing punk rock songs in these videos when I was like 10.
mm.
And so I was like, oh, this is cool. And the moment I picked up a guitar, the easiest songs to play were punk rock songs. So I was like learning those songs, but I was singing, I came from singing more R&B, popular soul music. So I always wanted to properly fuse the two together and that took a long time. Trust me, a long time. But then eventually, I was able to find people that were interested in, well, still interested in doing their thing, but still interested in participating in such a fusion. So we did it, and we just kept trying it. And I think that the band, and luckily, even though with member changes throughout, the years, we were always able to find somebody that understood the vibe. You know what I mean? Which I think is really important. I think it's about, I think life in general and our experience as humans is an energetic one, but with music in particular, I think it's really important to find people that understand how you're trying to translate the energy, versus just like, oh, I want to play like these chords, or I want to play this fast, or I want to, it's like, how do you translate the energy and idea through the music? So
Yeah,
that's kind of how that happened.
but that's isn't that's the wonderfulness um of mediums like punk and things where there are no boundaries. So add what you want, do what you want, right? Like there's always this doesn't matter if for you enjoy doing it. Obviously, you want to sell it to the world and have big audiences, but at the end of the day, you've got to be happy with what you're doing. You've got to follow your own path, and
Yeah.
it's just really good that people like us can hook into it and get something from it. And this is interesting because I'm not an R&B person, like I'm more blues in that respect,
Yeah.
stuff. Uh, but when I put your stuff on, it does associate me in that kind of way. I get
That's
it.
cool.
I
That's
really
cool.
get it. I really, really get it. And I think that there's a younger audience out there because, as you know, R&B is massive, of course, and soul and all that. So to bring two worlds together, bring two audiences together is a beautiful thing.
Thanks, man.
And
Yeah, that's the thing is I just want to bring those audio, like literally since the moment I started Let Live, the whole idea, and that moves in. I've got other projects now too, and it's the same thing for me. It's like, how do we bridge this gap that I actually don't think is as I don't think the gap is as large as we perceive it to be. I actually think it's actually a much shorter distance than we actually think. So,
yeah, well, if you think about it, I mean, in the early days, in the 70s, punk was dealing with dub and reggae.
yep, yep,
And it's very much a similar kind of thing, isn't it? It's just
yep,
well, not disenfranchised, but two different cultures doing their own thing, just meeting in a sort of Venn diagram of
yeah.
your. of the sound, and I think it's just wonderful because we put on the radio or we put on our record players, and a lot of the time we listen to stuff that's just the same. You know, it's
Right.
like here it is, I'm listening to heavy metal. Here it is, I'm listening to pop. Here it is, and we box
Right.
things, right?
Right.
And it's very refreshing when things aren't boxed, when things leak within each other, and you learn. Because I know I'll go off and listen to something now. Because I'll look at an interview with you, and you'll say, oh, we got influence from this. So I'll go off and listen to that thing that you said, oh, this influenced us,
Right.
and it opens doors to me, opens doors to something I
Yeah, I
probably
love
wouldn't have
that.
enjoyed, and I think that's important with your kind of music. It's what is why the audiences are there for you, mate. And it's a
I
great
love that.
great crossover. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that perspective. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just brilliant. Like, I mean, I talk to a lot of people, and every day, and it's always
Mm,
great to hear where people's artistic journey takes them and where they're coming from.
totally.
And
Totally.
as I said, I'm looking forward to hearing stuff off your back catalogue. I can't wait to see the stuff because, as I said, the energy, guys. If you haven't, those that are watching this video, if you haven't seen Let Live, watch the YouTube channels videos. How you don't break yourself. It's
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Every time I do think about that now too, especially as I get older, I'm like, man, like I don't know. I'm just like, I think I'm just extremely lucky. I think I'm just like this like extraordinary level of luck that I haven't, had like these really significant injuries. So, I mean, I'm gonna knock on some
touch
sort of
wood.
wood in the
Here we go.
moment.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
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 my
yeah.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. For
But that's
sure.
the case, though, isn't it? Like your whole band. It's not just you. If you watch the whole band, the
Mm.
energy is just infectious. You're
Yeah, man.
bouncing around like you're 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. And as a audience member, I mean, I will go there because I'm a music nerd, so I'll go there to really deep, just love the music, right, and get off on it. But there's also a point where you just open your eyes, stare at the stage, and go, right, I'm 16 again. Let's just
Yeah.
let's just move. And I'm well past that, my friend. But it's just good to go right. Let's just jump in and have feel the energy and get young, feel young for an hour and a half.
Yeah, man. That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it's the fountain of youth. You don't need pills and potions. You just need a good concert,
Mm.
a good gig.
I love that.
Yeah, man, the energy will keep you there, will keep you alive forever. Why do
Absolutely.
you think Ozzy's still alive and not dead, man?
I'm
Like
saying, dude, good God, I know.
maybe partly because he's pickled himself, but
Sure, sure.
but a lot of it's to do with the energy, right? So
Absolutely.
you know, which again said on those dates you're playing Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, and Perth.
Mm.
All great venues, by the way. All good
Oh,
sized
awesome.
venues, all good audiences. Particularly in Perth because they don't get to see bands that often over there. It's a long way away.
Yeah,
And recently, of the last probably 6 to 8 months, a lot of bands are heading that way, which is really good
that's awesome.
because the audience there, they're really into their music. And being so far
I love
away,
Perth. I love
I love
Perth.
it. It's a great part of the world. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, bands come, particularly big band, like massive bands. They go, oh,
Mm.
we'll just do the easy bit and then bugger
Yeah.
off.
And then go, yeah.
Yeah, and it really lets their fans down. And it's really good that, they haven't got to travel, cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get on a plane, accommodation, time off
Yeah.
work. They can just go
Yeah.
and see
Yeah.
you. And that just builds love. It just builds love because they go, wow, they're coming to see, they're coming here.
That's
And
cool.
I feel that way every time a band comes to Australia, mate. Every time
I love that.
I've lived here for almost 30 years, and I go, oh, great, because it was a great spell there when no one came,
Right,
and it was
right.
quite dark, the dark ages, as I like to put it. But now,
Ah,
like, now it's back.
that's awesome.
COVID's gone, well and truly. People can
Yeah.
go and sit out and have, get their live shows going. So I hope that you have a safe journey over.
Thank you, sir.
I hope the rest of your tour goes amazing because I said Vans Warped, 2000 Trees. There's
Yeah.
a lot of good
Yeah.
tours, man. A lot
Yeah,
of
it'll be
high
cool,
energy
man.
tours, and States and Europe and Australia. It's a big chunk of your life, mate. It's a big
I
chunk of
know.
time
I know. I
out
know.
of your personal life. So we appreciate that, um,
Appreciate you. Thank you.
really do. And hopefully there's new material.
Yeah, man. I mean, shoot, we're just like, it's funny. We get back, we got we got together and we were just kicking it. That's the whole reason this even happened, is because the three of us like got together and realized that we were able to pick back up so quickly while still maintaining who we've become. Like we've evolved and we've grown.
Mm,
But the essence of who we were as as friends remained. And we were like, damn, like it would be cool to, especially with the state that the world seems to be in, with the ever growing reach and surveillance with whether it's technology and social
mm.
media, and it's just we're just in such a we're a very fascinating place, in a seemingly volatile place. I feel like that at any moment something could happen, and we were like, I think that Let Live and what it was, and what it seems to continue to be, and what it's sustained as, could offer some respite, even some refuge for people right now, or with the way that things are going. So we were like, yeah, let's do that. And so with that, of course, of course you think to yourself, I mean, I would imagine most bands would think to themselves like, oh, what is it? Well, if we're touring, how does that feel? And then we tour and you go, oh, what does a new song feel like? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think because me personally, I've got so much work to do that I've come across in the last 5 years that I mentioned in Let Live, but the actual tackling of
Mm.
the work to, in a very Carl Jung way, like the shadow and all these different
Mm.
things spiritually for me. And I would have to most certainly get a hold on those things if I were to enter this realm of Let Live again, because Let Live was so emotionally
Yeah.
provocative for me.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, all
You know,
creation is painful. All art is painful in production. No, it's not easy to create great art,
mm,
right? If
mm,
it's not like it just pours out of you. Right? You
right,
have to work at these things, and if you're not in that state of mind to let that come out, then it's going to hurt you more than anything. So it's a good idea that you
right,
know where you are, right? And it's all. I mean, your music's always been emotionally
yeah.
driven. It's not like you. It's not like you're writing songs about picking flowers in the garden and skipping through the sunshine, is it? Like, you know, you know.
Yes, certainly not.
No, no, and like you said, it's very poignant. Like you said, actually, I've never thought about it that way. But the world is in a shitty place at the moment. And it is really, I think a lot of
Mm,
us are reaching out more so than ever for a place to dwell that doesn't involve wars and nations and things like that. You know,
yes.
and yeah, politics is fine in music. I like politics in my music. Don't get me wrong. Everyone has opinions and thoughts, and it helps.
Mm,
But I think that sometimes it's just good to listen to someone else's thoughts and not your own.
right, right,
Go and put that music on and listen to like your lyric that's telling me something that I'm going, hey, that resonates with me, but I don't feel, but it helps me think through my problems that are happening.
right, right,
And I
right.
think,
I
yeah,
mean, that's it.
mm. And I think that's exactly
I
where
mean,
the world is heading, I think. Mm.
I think so too. I mean, I think that we're a type, I think that we're a society, and going even further, quite possibly like a frontal lobe bearing species, where it almost seems like we have to get to the edge in order to see that we don't want to fall. It's like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
shit, like we're peering over the edge and we're like, that doesn't look like the best idea. But we push ourselves so far into it that returning and retreating from the edge, it requires like a massively radical swing of the pendulum. So it's like, all right, like now we have to fucking completely radicalize and revolutionize the way we look at each other, and the way we look at connection, and the way that we look at sharing, and the way that we look at existing
mm.
as a society. Or again, I know this is like really quite an umbrella term, but like as a species, like
No,
as an emotional species, like it requires a lot. And I think that we can find a beauty and a sort of joy in the work that needs to be done, but we have to admit to the problem first.
yeah. I mean, if you look at what they did, I mean, that's very act, very, very, very profound. Because if you think what the Luddites did, when with the factories and the Industrial Revolution and the creation
Yep.
of losing labor to machinery, when they were going, no, we'll break that. We want to go back to being simple people.
Mm.
There is a real thought in that, where the simple things in life are becoming more joyful to
Mm,
us as a
yep,
species. Like you said, just the simple thing of sitting down and reading a book,
yep,
or putting a record on, or just things like that. Just conversation, in fact,
absolutely.
even. And
Absolutely.
the written word and things. It's just, and so you're right. We need to get to the edge and come back. But on that journey, we have you to help us negotiate that, because
There we go.
we can look to bands like yourselves and lyricists like yourself and go, right, okay, I understand.
Mm,
I get it. I'm not alone. I'm not in my
yes.
room, thinking these thoughts, thinking, oh, geez, is it just me that thinks that? Because
Right.
then we can put your record on and go, hey, man, there's other
Yeah,
people out there with this same thought and same idea, and we can move forward.
absolutely. I
Yeah. So if you do have new material, beautiful. If not, we still love the stuff you have, my friend. We still love
appreciate you.
what
Thanks,
you've brought
Tony.
to us. So have a safe trip, have a safe journey, enjoy the rest of your tour,
Thank you.
and yeah, I hope that you feel 16 again, man, because you deserve it.
Appreciate you, brother. You too.
Oh man, oh yeah, always, man. 16,
Love it.
always, baby.
Love it.
But yeah, as I said, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your show. Good luck with all your mates and getting to spend some time with them again.
Thank
Because
you,
that's
brother.
always again part of the pleasure of being in a band is
Absolutely.
that connection on stage, which is spiritual.
Absolutely.
And I know I've been there and it's wonderful. And I just yeah, I envy you being big tours. It's great, but
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.
take it easy.
All right, brother.
Bye for now, man. Thanks for the
See
chat.
you, man. Yes, of course. Thank you.
Bye bye, mate.